This is a recording of the interview I got to do with TyDebo back on June 2nd, 2023. Fun stuff. Please comment, like, and subscribe. That that even some of the top names, the top faces of different games in social media are approachable. And approachable like tonight's featured guest, TyDebo. How are you doing tonight, Ty?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you. First of all, thank you for giving up some time tonight. I know a lot of people are fans of yours, me included.
No, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me. Yeah, Friday's usually busy. But somebody's bidding a million MT on Steph, so I can't even do a gameplay of him yet. So
Ah, there you go. See that? Look at that. Gatekeeping your success. That's man, the story of my streaming career. It's a struggle after struggle.
I see where you're coming from. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but one thing I got written down here that you're the pride of the Heartland. And the Heartland summertime was big for me. I spent my summers in Minnesota, so Iowa's near there. I
Yup.
hear you are from Iowa. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm Iowa all the way through. So I'm a big Iowa football fan. Outside of the Timberwolves, that's like my other big thing. So.
Okay. So pride of the Heartland is correct then. And summertime and in the Midwest, one thing about summertime in the Midwest, I was lucky enough to participate in a pickup baseball game when I was a kid. And that
Yeah,
has to be a Midwestern thing. That was in Minnesota.
funny
Did that
enough,
happen?
funny enough about that when I was growing up. So like I lived in a place when I was like from 2 to probably 10 years old, and we had like it wasn't like a actual like regulation baseball, but like we had like different trees as bases, and we had like a fence, probably like a 120-foot fence, and we just had like a backyard baseball kind of field in my backyard. So it was kind of we always did that basically every day in the summer.
Oh, so you lived the sandlot right there.
Literally, yep. Me and my buddies would always play. So, yep.
That's all. Yeah. See, mine was a different experience because, like, now when I was growing up in Idaho, it was basketball. You pick up basketball was easy to get, but Midwest baseball was such a hot thing that everybody just carried around their gloves just in case. So if you had to pick like your passion, your sport, what would you say your go-to sport is?
I would say basketball because even like my dad, ever since I was born until basically I graduated high school, and even after was like a basketball coach at the high school level. So I just grew up around it. Like even like after elementary school, I'd always just take the bus up to the high school and just watch his practices and stuff like that. So definitely basketball,
Yeah.
but I love baseball too.
See, did your dad coach you at all?
He did. So like when I got to
Yeah.
be like probably second or third grade or maybe even first grade, I don't even remember, but he like stepped down as like the head coach to start like being more active and like coaching me and stuff. And he coached me all the way through. So that was a pretty cool experience for me.
Okay, yeah, and see it. I don't even have that as a question because it's like I knew that for some reason that your dad was your coach at some point. I don't know. I just felt it. Felt your spirit in that.
Yep,
Uh,
I've grown up around it, and who would have known? I'm still doing, I guess, something different in basketball, but still part of it. So
yeah, exactly. What a crazy path. I bet as a small child you planned on being a 2K streamer, right?
right, no kidding.
Or you think you took a couple of twists and turns along the
No,
way?
yeah, more than a couple, but I mean, yeah, I never would have guessed I'd be here, but I'm loving it and I'm blessed. I wake up each and every day and I'm super grateful for it. So
Yeah. And along with the summertime, I know one big thing I was trying to think of what my favorite thing about summertime is, and it was fairs, fairs, especially in the Midwest. But that's at the end of summer. Is there anything that you're looking forward to this summer? I know we just had a holiday uh, weekend. Were you able to get out and do anything? Maybe hoop a little
yeah,
bit?
so me and my brothers sometimes we go and hoop and but yeah, just growing up. on the like a lot of the weekends, especially holiday weekends. My aunt has kind of a lake house, so we would go there. So especially late in the summer, August, when like the 2K content stops, that's what I'm really excited for. So
Oh yeah, get a little break. I like
yeah,
that. I
for
like
sure.
that. And well, I won't take up too much of your summer tonight, but I do have a little intro for you of things that I think I know about you. I could be totally wrong, so you can feel free to step in at any point to agree or disagree. Um, and and yeah, once again, thank you for being here. And so the first thing I have is YouTuber. That's how I was kind of introduced to you. Um, a sports fan, a borderline fanatic,
Yep.
uh, mid Western
Yep.
uh, streamer, which is different than a YouTuber, which I'm coming to find out. In a sense that YouTuber, you turn it on for that set of time. Whereas streamer, you can still amp it up, but you slip into just the normal guy once in a while.
Right.
Is that
That
true?
is true. YouTube's a whole different voice, a whole different thing. So that's true.
You, you got a bit of a unique intro.
Yeah, to say
Um,
the least. And I don't know how I even got it to be there, but I actually like this past summer people got so annoyed. Like there'd be comments of, "Oh my gosh, your intro is horrible." So then I changed it for like a week. And then after the week I put out a poll like, "Do you guys want the old intro or the new intro?" And it was like 80% to 20% old intro. And I was like, "All right, like whatever."
Now, do you feel like sometimes you exaggerate your intro just enough to get the comments that you're like, yo,
Yeah, it's
I'm not going to try to
for sure.
emulate your
I
intro, but
feel
I'm just
like it's
saying once in a while it's
I feel like it's how much energy I have or how excited I am for the video. You know, if I'm waking up on a random Wednesday and we haven't gotten content or any free cards for the last 2 months, it might be a little less energetic. But if we just got, 3 free dark matters and it's a 5 minute grind and I'm really excited about it, then you might hear a 10-second yo.
I like that. I like the 10-second yos are classic. And the next thing on the list is you're a noun, um, in the sense that I'm gonna be a TyDebo and bait the lanes or win some money or whatever other comp things that I don't understand. Um,
It's valid, I get it.
I've heard you being used as a noun in my own
Oh
household.
boy.
So you're a student, the pride of Northern Iowa. Is
Yep.
that correct?
Yes, sir. Went there.
Uh,
Yep. A few years, or a couple years, I should say. But yep.
celebrity because I was like, because I don't know you as well as I know like the previous 11, which is weird. It seems like I should have known you more, but you were always so uber comp. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to watch his gameplay because I can't do that with any of those cards. So yeah. uh and so I googled your name, which was the first time. um one of the things that came up was an interview that you did a couple years back, and you commented on it. So I don't know if you rewatched it.
I just I saw the comment of somebody said his voice was way different. So I just like that got me interested. Like, what did I sound like? Like, what was it, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? And so I watched and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is way different. But a lot of people like will say, oh my gosh, he's so different now that he does this. But literally, a lot of that is just because of my tonsils. Like, I got them
Yeah. And
removed and
see,
it's
and
so
that's
different.
comes and your answer right there, and I'll let you finish that. Your answer right there comes from you kind of being in the spotlight for so long that you having a news story pop back up on Twitter, your first thought was, no, this was my tonsils, not like, oh man, I was on the news back then.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, it is I do sound way different. Like if I go and watch even a video from after I got my tonsils out, it is way different. But yeah, my tonsils always I used to be sick so much and like just have so many issues with that. So my voice is a little different now. I think
Okay.
it's way more clear, but yeah, it is definitely different.
Okay. So they were holding you back, maybe your tonsils were holding you back this
Yeah,
whole
they were holding
time.
back my intro a lot, I think. So
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why it was so short previous years, and now you can get the 10-second ones.
exactly.
But that video, I watched it, And as I was watching it, and I was like, well, now I don't want to ask the same questions that somebody asked. But I wanted to watch it. I wanted to finish it. I'd started it. And you said something that, oh, and it was the stream setup. The stream setup in that video. Is that the same setup you still use?
No. So that was like, I'm trying to think. That was even before I started YouTube. So I've got a few different things, but it's not anything too crazy. It's basically the same stuff. I've just like upgraded the camera and stuff like that, but it's pretty similar, honestly.
Yeah, well, okay. My homework assignment for you, and I'm in no position to give you any homework assignment, but at some point, rewatch that video without the microscope of self-criticism, and just kind of look at your setup and look at you on TV and look at your, you know, where you were at in life. Um, and yeah, that's just rewatch it. It's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people don't get to have access to something like
For
that.
sure.
And
For sure I'll do that.
yeah, old Ty, because he said that Ty said maybe want to do this stuff for 5 or 6 years. And I think that was the whole competitive gaming thing. I don't
Hmm.
know what the exact question was. Um, how do you view that answer? How do you view that's coming along? Are you still planning your exit strategy in a few years? Or are you seeing this more of a long term?
Well, I think a lot of it is as far as like that was even before YouTube. So as far as like competitive gameplay, I see people like I don't know how much you're into the competitive scene, but when I play against Lil Kool-Aid and I play against JB, they remind me of when I was 16. And I don't know how much more I can not that I can't compete, but it's just like it's so straining. So like I don't know. My main goal this year was to win current and next bowls because I've not done that yet in the same year, and obviously it didn't work out. But if I do that, I think I don't know. I think I would probably be done.
Okay, okay. Well, this interview took a sad turn. All right, we're gonna scratch that from the record. Yeah, Ty. Okay, 10 more years of this stuff. Awesome. This is cool. This will get the people
I didn't
excited.
say YouTube, right? I can still create content. I don't got to be playing for 250 against Lil Kool Aid.
I think you do, though. I think in your mind you do have to be playing for 250 against Lil Kool-Aid. I think that's how you're wired.
I mean,
And that could be me just putting that on you as a judgment, but that's I think you have to be there. I think no matter what, you have to be there.
maybe, yeah, maybe we'll see. I just, oh man, I don't know. You just have to work really like, and
Oh
you know
yeah.
it. You probably know, but yeah, you just have to work so
Dude, I
much,
try to lock in for one unlimited game and I'm ready for
and
bed.
and
And watching somebody do 4 hours
that's
of comp anything is like,
that's the thing. The
what?
4 hour calls is crazy, and like that's what people don't realize. That's what honestly made me so upset about this year's bans. Is it's like I've been buying MT since the first qual. So ban me then. Say I'm not eligible to compete, whatever. Then I don't have to play in the other quals. Like sweating 2K
Mhm.
for hours is not for me anymore.
Oh yeah, it's rough. It's rough because yeah, you could only stock up on so many Whoppers before you'll load up for 4 hours,
Speaking
right?
of, I think it's about that time.
About Whopper. And so looking back at that junior, what would be one piece of advice that so that you're saying this was before YouTube?
Yep.
This was you just kind of getting into the comp scene. So I guess what came first, the comp or the tapes?
The comp or what?
The comp or the streaming, the comp or the
Um,
uploading it, the comp or the
so
YouTube.
I would say comp came first. Just because I'd been playing.
And was it always 2K? Was that the first comp game? Or were you a COD player? Is there anything else that
Yes,
you had to beat everybody else
I
at?
would say like I was always pretty good compared to like my friends at like 2K and Madden, those type of games. I was the best like at 2K compared to any other game. So yeah, I'd always been pretty good, and then I in 2K19 probably like took the next step. But a piece of advice I'd give to myself is even now, I sometimes I just need to keep the main thing, and just realize like I wouldn't be in any I'm just blessed and fortunate. Like God blessed me, and that's like my main thing. Even after I won the globals, like I was so fortunate that happened literally weeks before COVID. Like who would have known if COVID was a thing, how flights would have worked and all that. And so just keeping the main thing. Like God bless me a ton. And sometimes like with the frustrations or even the highs and the lows, you can lose sight of that. But that's probably the main piece of advice I'd have given to myself back then, and still to this day.
Oh yeah, that's smart. I would have said stock up on hand sanitizer.
That's
That,
a
that,
valid
that would
one
have been
too.
good. Yeah, yeah. Um, um, but now you have to tell them. Let's say you go back in there and you have to tell that Ty, okay, you're not going to go live. You're not going to do comp gaming. You're not going to play video games anymore. What career path do you see for for that junior year Ty?
Yes,
Well, where were you
I was
going before
actually
this whole video game thing derailed
I was
you?
actually gonna teach physical education. So that's kind of what my dad did, and I was gonna coach. Probably just keep that same path, and that's something I still would love to do eventually is coach. I don't know so much about the teaching thing anymore because that just seems. I saw my parents, and not that it's not all bad. It is a rewarding profession, but it's tough and difficult. So, but that's what I
Some
was gonna
children
do.
are
So.
nightmares, right? That's what you're getting at. Some children are just nightmares, and you're
Oh,
wondering what? Why, you can't reason with them. You cannot reason with them,
yeah,
and you
and
try, and
I
so
don't know.
you throw them out on the football field.
I get one troll kid in my stream. I ban them and call them anything. And imagine them in my classroom.
Yeah, the principal has to call you into the class, into the office, and say, Mr. DeBont, why do you keep sending all these kids to my office? It's daily. It's
Yeah,
daily.
literally. I would not have any patience with them. So yeah, I'm glad. I think that might have been God's main reason of making me do this is to save all the kids I was gonna teach.
Yep. Give somewhere else a place where the kids can yell at you and hate you. Because, man, success breeds hate, doesn't it?
It does, and
It
I'll never forget. It was 2K20, yes, 2K20. So a long time ago, and it was that summer, and that was probably as good as I've ever been on the game. Like I was winning basically every tournament, and I don't know if you were like in the comp scene back then, but it was me versus FSU, and we played in like I don't even know. Back then it was like a $3,000 tournament, whatever. But I had never seen so many people just happy to see me you lose than that, and it was just like wow, like I felt like I like obviously I have people that support me, but when I was there it's just like and it's the same thing. Like people love seeing the best lose. Like when the Warriors lost, people love seeing that. So that's just the same type of thing. Like it's not anything personal, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and it's hard because we're all humans. We all try not to let that stuff affect us. You try not to read that kind of stuff, but once in a while, you can't not.
No, for sure,
And
for sure.
and especially being in a position of a spotlight where not only like, hey, I played this game, I could beat that dude. What makes him so special? Oh, now he's streaming. I'm gonna go let him know how I can beat him.
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
like daily.
a lot of times too, like it's again, it's not personal. Like it's just either attention or just like again as far as if it's comp the underdog type of thing, like people loved when I first came on the stream and it's seen and was beaten, like back then it was like Splash, Valor, TJ, like it's again it's nothing personal, it's just kind of the change of like what people like seeing. So
And it goes to the whole social media aspect of all of this too. It's easy to hate the dude winning, it's because I have a kind of different 2K experience. I kind of found you in 2K21, and all of it, the streaming, the everything, the comp scene and everything. And so I was even scheduling time to grind and watch the 2K tournament on the other TV, telling my wife, hey, we're rooting for Ty, knowing that if you lost, I don't know who else to root for. So thank you for winning back then. It made it interesting the whole way.
well yeah
Except there were some other games. It was cool. It was cool. You personally brought me into the comp scene, not by gameplay, not by gameplay at all, not my gameplay, no, but by making it more human.
No, that's
By
for sure.
it's not just a gamer tag
For
anymore.
sure. And I
It's
like that part of it too. It's like just even like, and I've always said I like streaming more than YouTube because you get that personal interaction too. Like somebody comes into my stream and I recognize their username, like I know them. Like you never know what that person's like going through, but you have that personal interaction too. So I mean, it does go both ways too.
yeah, even if it's just a minute that say, hey, TyDebo said what's up back to me. That's cool. All right,
For
nice.
sure. For sure.
It, it goes a long way. And so the path was teacher slash gym teacher, gym coach, softball coach, baseball coach, all of that. That was the path, but you didn't. So one other thing you became is a verb. Like I got TyDebo'd. I got put in a box. I quit the first quarter. That's what I say. I got TyDebo'd. And not I don't do the TyDeboing. Because there's only a couple athletes that get verbs. Like Ruthian or Jordan-esque
For sure.
or
Yep.
getting TyDebo'd.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like the kind of the reasoning with that, but hey, I guess it comes with it.
And it comes with being the one go-to name of the comp scene, which is, it's almost like the man in the street. Hey, have you heard of this game? Okay, name one person. Okay, TyDebo. All right, cool. Uh, which also makes you Chicken Man. And if you had to summarize Chicken Man outside of 2K, outside of video games, you have to summarize Chicken Man. What is it and why is it you?
Ooh, outside of video games, that's a tough one. I would say Chicken Man is just like you just can't miss. So let's say like in anything in life, like you just ace all your tests. You just can't miss in life. You know, you go and just I don't know. You're just literally the best.
Hair's always looking
Yeah,
nice. Walking in the
there's
bowling
nothing you
alley,
can do
grabbing a
wrong.
slice
Like
of pizza.
facts,
Yeah,
facts. Yep, exactly.
I like pulling up to your school in the best car
Yep,
is what that would be.
absolutely.
I've heard that's a song lyric I'm familiar with. I don't remember what song, but for some reason that popped into my head. I'm getting more familiar with different styles of music, also because of getting into the whole Twitch scene. So uh, again, appreciate the community for that, and you're helpful with that.
Absolutely.
You're also an educator, as far as breaking down certain things, how you do things. This is how I do what I do.
For sure. Yeah. I think that's important because otherwise, like, people are like, what is an Oscar slide? Or what is how do you do the T Mac shuffle? Like, why is it so important to know your icons? All of those things, like, and the average person's not going to know. So, like, unless you break it down, like, again, they're not going to understand it. It's just, it'd be like me going in.
And your settings are legendary too, as far as okay, that's this video's out.
Mm-hmm.
We better figure out how to
For sure, and it's
gotta figure out how to beat this now.
yeah, it's just the little things too, again, like that I'm like so familiar with because it's my job. I should be familiar with all of that, but the average person obviously isn't going to be. So
Because there's a lot. Because one thing that I've noticed being just not much older than you, but a little older than you, that like games don't come with instructions anymore. You have to go outside. You have to outsource information for yourself.
no, it's true.
Um,
Just like with everything, even if it's like how to play or like even the trophy case this year, like that didn't have instructions with it. I mean, just nothing. So
Yeah, asking people that you hang out with, and all of a sudden you got to start getting some answers and start spreading some answers, which was fun, and that's you're a big help in that, especially getting people, to feel like they're comp. Okay, I watched this video. Okay, I got all my settings right. I'm loading in,
for sure,
and then as you're watching your lineup screen right up at the tip off, you think you're comp, and so appreciate that. I personally appreciate that.
absolutely.
Midway through the first quarter, I don't think. I mean, maybe it's my reflexes aren't as quick. That's what I blame it on.
At least,
But you're also a food critic.
yeah,
Food
I am
critic.
a food critic. Absolutely.
What was your favorite food review or food related content that you did?
Probably my first ever YouTube video because like even if you go to like a page about me, they'll say my first ever YouTube channel was the Cheeto sandwich review. So I mean that's probably my favorite one because that's the most iconic one. I I
It was a what?
you don't know what have you ever heard
Uh,
of a Cheeto sandwich?
no, I can visualize it. Now that you mention it, I is it just Cheetos on bread, or is there
It's a
more to it?
KFC chicken. It's a Cheeto sandwich. You don't know what it you Google
I'm
Cheeto
sorry. Yeah,
sandwich right now.
I can't. I'll probably close the space, so my hands are
All right,
tied. But
that's your
I'm putting
assignment.
it in my
That's your
notes.
assignment for
All right,
tonight. Look up Cheeto sandwich.
that's my Cheeto sandwich. All right. Yeah, I thought that was something like maybe you just threw together in your kitchen and said, "Yeah, here's some bread and some Cheetos. All right, Cheeto sandwich review."
No, but I'm
Yep.
mad because they've never
Okay.
brought it back, or they did once, I think. But it's not like something I can go get tonight, which it is what it is, I guess. But
Did you have something to do with it? Was it your review that poor that you put it right off the menu?
no, my review was
Or
great. I probably brought, and then I had people atting me like the next day, like Ty, look, a Cheeto sandwich. They should have paid me for sponsorship. My promo was so good.
but instead they stopped making it.
Yeah, I don't know how that all worked.
It's a
Maybe other people viewed it
weird
badly. I
turn.
don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd name, that's for sure. As for a business, but I see you also as a businessman. Uh, Merch. You have a brand. You represent a brand,
Yep, yep. In
and
a way, I do. Yep, but
uh, well, you have like a free bread. I tried to win some of your merch. I don't know a while back.
oh, but
Didn't win it, but cool. Like free bread and Chicken Man
yep. If
stuff.
you didn't win any,
Yeah.
blame Nate. He's at fault, not me.
Really? Okay. See, and I believe I even DM'd you that before this interview, Nate was my favorite Debo because he followed me back
Yeah,
first.
literally,
So,
he's a
um,
fake person because he didn't even give you any of the merch. That's his fault.
yeah, that's going on his list.
Yeah.
All right, let me just update his bio real quick. Second, 2A on the Debos. All right, okay. And you mentioned in one of your last videos that you're a weird guy. The way that, and I don't know if it's meticulous as far as your approach to making in-game currency, and whether it's this game or 2K or whatever game you play, if you approach that the same way, because you were looking like a mirror of myself, the way you were looking for certain things, and you can sell this for this, and okay, what about this, and
hmm
and uh, and so, do you approach like different things like that, the different parts in your life?
Well, I've always been one like even in 2K19. Well, I had like the collector Giannis, and I didn't spend very much money, so it's just I'm always like that with everything. Like I'm like the best example I can give is like money. Like when I spend, it's pretty thought out. Like the majority of the time, like I hate wasting MT. I hate wasting money. I hate wasting water, like it's everything, and you just have to think about it even like money wise. Okay, like different sources of revenue, so yes, YouTube, Twitch, but PO tournaments for $20 at night, I'm gonna play in it if I think I can win it, like even though it's not necessarily quote unquote worth it for my time, it's just like different ways.
But
So
then you're tying it into streaming, and
right,
then you're making a video out of it, and then
right.
so you're utilizing that $20 to increase your
Right.
net worth
It's like
in a
even
sense.
like I'll say like, well yeah, if you get 250 MT extra per win of triple threat offline, is that a big deal? No, but if you're comboing that up with graded cards and a prize ball and then
Mhm.
eventually it's going to be like, "Oh, well, I'm getting about 750 MT for every 3 minutes I play." And then
Yeah, you're stacking that, and the same thing like applies to like MUT, like any. And I don't know about FIFA. Are you familiar with FIFA at
I
all?
used to play it back when I was in like high school, but I haven't played it in a long time.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I know that each kind of collector card game has its different system of how you can grind for certain achievements
Mhm.
and uh, and yeah, and so yeah, each thing takes attention to detail to be successful at it.
For sure.
And and so going back to the gaming side of things, so you grew up in Iowa. Was gaming a big source of entertainment for you? Because I grew up in Idaho, which a lot of times, well, I'll say, yeah, I grew up in Idaho, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I love Des Moines, and I'll be like, no, no, and I'll say, yeah, I do too, yeah, and so I just go with it. But
So yeah,
we're
when I
big into games.
I would say when I like was growing up, I was always like my main thing was sports, sports, sports. I played everything. So like even high school, I was four sport athlete. But then like after let's say a summer workout or after practice for an hour at night, I would always just like that was my like getaway in a sense. Or like I'd watch basketball or those type of things. Like I was always I don't know, either playing virtual basketball or football, baseball, video games, or like watching the sport. But that was kind of like my getaway.
What was the first sport you played? What was the first sport in Iowa? The first sport
Mm,
you played? Because I'm gonna write down what I think it is.
First
And what was
sport. Ooh. I probably I probably I'd guess it was basketball.
basketball? See, I said baseball. See, I'm stuck. I'm
T-ball.
hung up on
It might
Midwestern
have been
baseball for
T-ball
some
though. I don't
reason.
know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Because that's yeah, you go out with your dad and you have a catch, right? In the
Mhm.
summertime, and the dad gets frustrated that their son can't catch yet and is terrified of the
For
ball.
sure. And
Yeah,
that's how my dad
that's
was always like good. Like he would if I'd ask, he'd always go or like even to rebound with me. Like he rebound for me. He always do that. So like yeah, he was super good about that too. But definitely.
that's important. That's important. And so it was video game. I guess basketball games was that. Were you playing with your friends and stuff? Like, because couch gaming for me was a big. When I think back of the best times of gaming, you're sitting there next to your buddy on the couch, and you're ribbing them, and you're talking smack to them, and you're playing against them,
Right.
and like online is the evolution of that, except the vulgarity is so much worse.
Horrible now. But I think yeah, my brother was like my best source of that because he was pretty good at everything. And so we'd always be like or even like or like we'd share an account and be like, play versus each other, whatever. But then we'd like share an account and see if like, how good we could get our team together too. So like it was kind of it worked both ways.
Oh yeah, so let's say if you guys played like Madden, would one play offense, one play defense?
We mainly did that in baseball. In MLB the show, we'd always go like I think he'd do the pitching and I'd do the hitting in MLB the show. So like we were definitely into that.
Okay, yeah, because I watched my two sons, the two that got me into 2K. They were big on Madden, but one was always offense, one was always
And that
defense.
and I think
And
like even when we had like one PlayStation or whatever, it just allowed us to play at the same time, like play like on the same team. Like it was just fun. So
oh yeah. Yeah, and so do you remember the first time that you played against somebody online
I
in any sport, any game, any
the one thing
situation?
I remember is it might have been in like I don't even know. It was at my old house, probably like 2007, 2008, the first Black Ops. That's when I like first got into like online gaming.
All right, all right. What got you hooked? What was the thing
Well, I
that
think just playing with all my friends like was a lot of it, and it was just like I don't know, it's something different, something new. Because like I don't know, I remembered I'd always like before that we had like a PlayStation 2, and I'd always just like play like NBA Live or whatever. But then like you go home and you're still like talking to your buddies. Like I thought that was really cool. And the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And be able to play the same game, same party on the same team
Right. And
against
the
people.
thing was that was just like the most popular game. So if I go home and I'm like, yeah, guys, let's get on 2K tonight, everybody's like, what? Like, we're not playing that. Like, they're gonna want to play like the most popular game. So I think that's probably why that was just the game.
Yep, yep, yeah. And COD was the thing that got me into online too. There was, yeah, mind blowing that, hey, yeah, playing with this guy, my buddy here, and my buddy here, and we're just, couch gaming online. Half the time we're not calling out anything, we're just BSing
For
while we're
sure.
playing.
For sure.
And yeah, getting people to switch over, because yeah, hey, you want to play 2K, you're either got to get your whole squad to play rec, or you couple guys to play park, and then you're alienating your other buddies.
No,
And
exactly. And I remember even when I was in high school, we had like a group that would play park together, but like they'd always make me so mad because it's like I go from playing with guys that play all the time to these guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're shooting heavies. Oh my gosh, not playing any defense. I would get so frustrated.
yeah, I had a buddy that thought he was going to have an awesome my player because he named him Michael Jordan and named him made him bald. But he didn't understand 2K. He didn't understand the mechanics
Right,
of it. That this isn't live 95 anymore.
right.
You're not going to do the kiss the rim dunk with Larry Johnson. Yeah. And yeah, it's a whole nother lifestyle. It's that you got to get into. SIGs, you're breaking down SIGs.
Yeah,
What? You need a different upper and base?
exactly.
And how quick? What? Okay, right back to YouTube. All right. How do I figure out how to make a character?
Yeah, there's so many different dynamics now.
Which is great, right back to YouTube, right back to you. So you're playing online, you're playing COD, a little bit. So you're probably what, middle school, high school
I would say this
this
would have been
time?
like when I was like fourth grade, probably, honestly.
Jeez.
Fourth or fifth grade.
So we are about the same age then. Yeah, so I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah. So so moving forward then, so you're playing a little bit online. Call of Duty as a fourth grader. Holy cow.
I know.
In Iowa.
I know.
Yeah. So you survived that phase of your life, and then you're moving forward. Let's say you're getting into more social medias kind of creeping in.
Mm.
Or was that in fourth grade too? Did you already have like a MySpace and stuff?
No,
It's
I
all set
think
up.
maybe just like a Facebook, but that was like really casual. I don't know. I don't even remember honestly. But
Okay.
I think
Okay. So
middle
you're
school is really when I got into social media.
all right. Yep. And yeah, that's when things get more popular, more pressing, more immediate. You
Right.
got to post things.
Right.
You got to keep up with whoever's posting whatever. Uh, And then so with the social media comes more now talking about ourselves and posting things that we do, like, getting into streaming. How did that look? Like maybe not the comp side of gaming, but how did your path to going live or doing the Cheeto sandwich review? Uh,
Yeah,
what was the motivation behind
for
that?
sure. So I mentioned before that my brother and I shared an account. And again, we were heavy into 2K. Like we loved playing 2K. Like when he was off, I'd get on. When I was off, he'd get on. Like it was like I don't know if it was FOMO or what it was, but we were just like fanatics. And so he went to work out one time and he's like, just stream for me, whatever. And that's how it started. I would stream and I'd just turn my mic on, whatever, and just talk to him while he was working out. And then like there'd be some randoms come in once in a while. And then I got to like 4 viewers one time and I was like, you know what? Let's get affiliate. And then I had like average 4 or 5 and it just kind of grew from there. And then I got better and better at the game. And it just kind of took off. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know, but that's how it started. Just streaming for him while he was working out.
So you were using like streaming like a Zoom call,
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's basically what it was.
like a public Zoom call.
Yep.
That's wild. Huh.
Because I'm like, nobody knows me anyways. Nobody's gonna go to a random TyDebo stream and like it was just me and him talking to it. Like he'd chat and I'd talk. It was basically what it was.
I love that. I think that's great. That's great. Okay, and you're just playing, and so are you good at the game at this point? Like where people would come in and say, "Wow, look at you," or were you just playing and kind of vibing with your brother, or
So
how did
I
that
would say
look?
I was pretty good, but our main thing we would just grind triple threat online because that was like the best kind of time for your MT type thing back then. But then I remember like that's like when I started playing comp, was at like the end of 2K19. And so I think that's really when it kind of took off, when I started playing unlimited, and then I entered a Valor tournament for $100, but a lot of other people, like top guys, competed in it, and that's kind of when my name really, I would say, got out there a little bit.
Okay. And so you had to put out the money. And so how long were you playing like this particular 2K that you decided, yeah, I'm going to put up some money and try to beat some
So
people?
the
Like,
funny part of it was like it was that would have been my freshman year of college. I really wasn't like, I played video games with, like, that's when Fortnite was at its like peak. And I remember I was back for like Christmas break, and I was driving, maybe getting some lunch. And then like we stopped to get lunch, and then my brother texted me like, "These packs are juiced. I'm gonna spend 100. If you want to split them, you can. Whatever." And then he pulled like some good cards, and then I guess we split it, and then from there our my team account was good, and then we started kind of going crazy on it. But it was all because like of that simple. These packs look juiced, and I'm pretty sure it was like Diamond Braun, Diamond Steph back then. But that's kind of how it was, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll start playing.
the ultimate tweet, the juiced packs, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know how juiced they actually were, but hey, I took his word for it. And 2K must have blessed us because we were new people spending money on the game. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll give them some beginner luck, I guess.
Yeah, so your account got better, and then you feel the urge to start getting in the comp scene, entering tournaments, and then and that kind of coincided with you actually wanting to stream and get affiliate under the TyDebo name. Was that kind of
Yep,
the
that's
same
kind of the
career
path. Yeah,
path?
and I was like in 2K17 we were good, but like my brother, I would say we were like above average, but it was never like, and we didn't even play some comp, but I like was never consistently 2K until 19. That's when I really got into it.
And that was kind of prodding from him as well, or you just were you who who pushed the other? Would you tell him, "Hey, look what I did. Watch me beat this guy. Watch me beat this guy," or did he say, "Hey, yo, you're really good at this game"?
So I think honestly in 19 we were both pretty good. Like he'd even play a lot back then too. It's just that I feel like he had a full-time job at the time, I'm pretty sure, and I was in college, so I just had more time. And so I think we both kind of were just like, let's get this account better. Like we both enjoyed playing the game, and just I don't know, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. But then yeah, I started playing comp, and then I don't know, it just kind
Did you win the first tournament you entered?
of as far as tournaments, I think it was, but it was for a really low, like the $100. But I think I did win it.
Okay, so kind of a confidence boosting, maybe not financially uh boosting, but more of
Right.
hey, I entered a tournament and
And it
won
was a
it.
more for me, like back then, it was just like that was like the start of like me growing my channel. Cause like nobody really knew about me until I beat like the Splash back then and beat the TJ. Like that's when it started kind of like started my path, I would say. Like, yeah, the $100 was nice, whatever, but that's really what started kind of the growth.
And so you'd stream these tournaments. Is that how people would find out that you beat so and so,
Yep.
or
I would
how was word spread
So basically,
back
like what
then?
would happen is, let's say like comp players now. So let's say Splash played. Just gonna throw out a name. Just gonna throw out a random name. Joey. Okay.
Small.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, Smoles. Let's just go with yeah, Smoles. Okay, whatever. And then let's say Splash loses to Smoles, who for the average comp player, they're gonna be
Trigger.
like, who like has he ever been in the comp scene before? Like what's going on? And then they'll like then in the bracket, Smoles plays another guy. And then eventually they'll be like, who is this guy? And then they'll find you and watch the finals or whatever, however it works. So
And how did they find you first? So you were only streaming, or when did you start putting up YouTube videos for? And again, besides
yeah.
the the Cheeto
So
sandwich, when did you?
besides the troll stuff, I would say it was
Yeah.
after my first global championship. So it probably would have been in what would that have been 2K20, late in 2K20. But a lot of it was just like I would stream because it was way easier for me to do. Because back then I grinded 12 and O's, and I would stream
Mm.
those, and it was just way easier. I wouldn't have to edit, wouldn't have to do anything. But then after I won my first global tournament, I had to kind of start because that was another just kind of thing I could, I don't know, take advantage of and boost myself in a way. But then I had to work. Like I remember before my brother started helping me out, like I was working like 18, 19 hours every single day. I probably was working, and this isn't even like an exaggeration, probably like 110 to 120 hours a week. It was disgustingly filthy, but it got me to be where I am now. So I'm thankful for it.
It was the grind. Yeah, the
It
grind.
was because I remember I'd go to bed at like 2, grinding to 12 and 0, and then I'd wake up at 7. It was crazy, but yeah.
And I can see where you mean streaming's a lot easier because yeah, you click go live, you stream, you clock off, and it's done.
Exactly right.
There's no
You don't have to
editing. There's
edit.
no
You don't have
backup.
to do a thumbnail. It's so much easier. But yeah, that's when I started YouTube. It was a lot more. Just it was a grind. So
Yeah. And so did you go right at, hey, this is how you beat comp? Was that your approach to YouTube? Or
um,
was it more informative? This is how you play the game,
I
this is
would
how you
say I
do the
I would
game?
say
Or
I basically did like the DBG type of approach, which was just like informative. But my whole thing was I'm just gonna be comp and informative. So like my whole thing was gameplay wise. For when me back in the day, who would I want to watch? I'd probably want to watch like people. Not that DBG was bad. DBG used to be pretty good, but like you want to watch like the best. So like that's my whole thing is I want to take that approach where I post a lot of videos, give people information, but I want to just be a little bit, I don't know, take advantage of me being really good at the game.
yeah. And so you won this tournament. You're still going to school full time at this point?
Okay, so this would have been in 20. Okay, so that's right when like COVID hit in that spring. And that's when, yeah, I was still going to school that spring. And let me tell you, I was struggling to find any motivation to go to school.
What was the biggest change? So give me your view of how, I guess, how the world changed in your eyes because it was huge for everybody,
Right.
and I don't know, as a college student, I have no idea how it affected you. I know how it affected me. I know how it affected the people I know, but what what did you see coming? How you're going to school, everything's fine one day, you're playing a little bit of 2K and then everything shuts down, or
Yeah, it was just,
what
it
how
was
did you
kind of
see it?
crazy because it was just like a whirl of emotions for me, like a complete high of winning this big tournament, kind of starting this, and then the whole thing of like the NBA game gets canceled. You're like, what is going on? Like, and then you get sent home from school after spring break or whatever. And then for me, it was okay. I've got this hobby. I'm posting YouTube videos. I'm streaming. I'm grinding 12 and O's. I got like basically my first source of consistent income. And everybody probably remembers like when you first get your money going, like you kind of addicted to it. But then I'm still in school and it's online, in which basically you have to somehow have self motivation, right, to show up or to do the work. Because I mean, there's no, it's just all online. It was
Oh yeah.
tough. That was really hard.
Oh yeah, the accountability is for an online situation, and props to anybody that made it through. Not triumphed or anything like that, but that just made it through this crazy time we've been through, and the kids like you that got a whole different school experience from
And
it.
I
And
remember like they'd have class and you'd be on Zoom or whatever. I just I'd put it on, show up, and I'd be recording a video in the background. But like that's the accountability thing. I was 20 years old, 19 years old. You just, I don't know. It was
well, you were with a little touch of fame, so it wasn't your fault. You just won a tournament. There, people are talking about you beating people, so
I guess,
it's not
yeah.
like you were just being a bad
And I
student.
remember
You had a little bit of fire for
And I remember
something.
my parents were both educators, and obviously they supported me in what I was doing, but they're like, you just got to finish this semester out strong, and then we can figure stuff out this summer. But they're like, they were just hoping and I did good enough. Like, I actually did pretty good in school the rest of the semester, but they were just like, this is crazy. Even for them, they were educators too, so they probably got it, but it was crazy.
And so you got sent home, and you're hearing, okay, are you hearing the class is going to start back up, or no, it's just going to be online, deal with it,
Well,
or
for like a
what's
whole week after spring break, the teachers were just trying to, I think, figure it out, and then they had to get adjusted to it all. And there's not much of class left. I mean, I'm trying to think. That was in late March, maybe. So we had maybe a month left, and so
mm.
it was just a lot of kind of figuring out.
And so at this point, were you kind of in the back of your mind going, okay, this content creation, this when did you feel like, okay, maybe this is the career path? Maybe not forever, but for right now. This has got to be my entire
So,
my
so I would
focus.
say it was like when school went online, that's when I like really started heavily pursuing it. Like, okay, I need to take this thing seriously because my growth, like the way I was growing was just crazy. And I had like, I remember, I think I had like, again, not even a YouTube channel in like March, basically 100 subscribers. And I had like nearly like 10K in June. And so I was like, okay, this is crazy. And so that's when I was like, I need to start taking this serious. And then that's when my brother basically told me, like, yeah, you need to really take this serious. Like, you can make something out of this. And he's the one that brought up the idea of taking it full time too. So,
Do you remember your first video that blew up, or your first something
so I think
that?
it probably was my defensive settings video, is if I had to guess. Because I think I did an offensive setting and a defensive settings videos, like two of my first ones.
And then, so, well, what did blowing up look like at that point?
I don't even remember. I would guess like a few thousand,
Were you
maybe.
refreshing? Were you refreshing the numbers constantly?
Well, I didn't even know what to think about it. My first goal was to get monetized on YouTube because that took forever too. Because, I mean, for me, unless you see the numbers, you don't know like how much a subscriber is worth, how much a view is worth. So like you don't even know or understand it until you start getting monetized. So like similar to the affiliate on Twitch, my main goal was like I wanted to get YouTube partner. Like that was my main thing. And so I knew I needed 1,000 subscribers, and that was like my main goal right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and especially when you're refocused on that, the all of a sudden the monetization, that word becomes more of a buzzword. The goal, okay, getting monetized. Okay,
Mhm.
I got to start making
For
money. Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. And so was the what did you kind of focus more on? What did you see more benefit from your time spent from doing YouTube videos, or doing the Twitch streams, or just doing the making money off tournaments?
See, that's a tough question because I would say money wise, it was definitely YouTube and 12 and O's. But but
Well, I guess 12 and O's, yeah, that's a whole gig right
right.
there. That's a whole
But
job.
YouTube, it was like just the growth aspect. Because at that time I was growing on Twitch too. I was making money on 12 and O's. I was making money off those two. But then on YouTube I probably wasn't yet. But it was the growth. It was, oh well, I've got 100 new subscribers today. Like that is a different type of growth too. So I it was just like a combo, and that's probably why I was working like crazy hours too.
Okay, and so there was kind of a big event back in 2K21 that kind of tilted the scales as far as where your income was coming in. And I don't like talking about other people's money. I stay in my lane, but it was kind of public, this little tournament you were in, um, that that you won a tournament that was in the video game, right?
Yep.
And and so I guess trying to figure out the best way to ask this question. When you when did you know you were going to win that tournament? Like when you bought the game, were you feeling good coming out of 20, going, okay, I know how things are going. I know because that's
Right.
even winning a couple tournaments back then, doing YouTube and stuff and all, but that's still another huge step
Yeah.
in your life
Yeah, because
story.
I didn't even touch on this, but in 20 I qualified for 250. But I lost in the second round, and I shouldn't have, but again, I was
To
it
who?
was to Jin. And
See, I know you remember.
And
Of course, you
yeah, I
remember.
remember because I was up. Jin's really good though. Like at that time, he was way more
Yeah,
experienced
I've heard
than
that
ever.
name. If I've heard that name, he has to be good.
He's
I've heard
extremely
it, Jim.
good.
Insanity, is that who
Yep,
it
he's
is?
extremely good. But that's
Yeah.
who I lost to. But it was a lot of it is just because if you're playing for that, that was my first that was my first huge tournament. Like I played in smaller tournaments, whatever, but that's my first huge tournament. And so I'm 19 years old at the time. I'm so nervous. Like it's hard. But then it was just like a kind of growing experience. So then yeah, coming into 20, that was like one of my main goals to win 250. Like that's my main goal. Like if I do that, the rest is gonna follow. I felt like so. Yeah, I was confident. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna win it because obviously there's so many good people. But or that was wait, yeah, that was in 21. Yeah, 21.
So was there a point that the kind of the goal became, oh yeah, this is happening. I'm planning on this now because from what my notes say, you did back to back
Yep. So
on
in
it.
21 and then 22, and in 21, the big thing was I just got to qualify. Like that was my first thing, and then the first weekend qualifier, I qualified, and I was like, I have a another legit shot at this thing, and so then just kind of went from there. So, but yeah, that was my main goal, especially after losing the previous year. I was like, I need to qualify and then go from there again. So
And the more I see, the more that there's different comp scenes. There's a whole world of different, hey, I can beat you at this game. Let's put some money on it. Do you do you see yourself kind of veering in? Because you're already naming the people that are going to take your crown. You did that at the beginning. So do you see a different style of game, maybe like a competitive style Monopoly or,
for me,
yeah, for you.
I think after this, I'm gonna be just like I'm gonna be ready to. I don't want to say relax in a way, but kind of just like not be so like competitive just because it takes a lot on your mental. Like I'll never forget losing the first 250K or like even last year being locked out of my account or this year being banned. Like those take so much mental tolls on you, and it's just a lot of it, was out of my control. The first year I lost, I would even say getting banned this year is out of my control. You guys can say I'm a cheater, whatever. I felt like it was out of my control. And then obviously getting an account locked is out of my control. So there's just been so many ups and downs. And so that's when I'm just like, it takes a toll on your mental health. And to me, your mental health is like one of the most important things you have. So I think eventually after it all, I'm going to be ready to hang it up. So.
And well, that goes with the whole content creation, the whole social media thing that there is just so much out of your control. There, you can try so hard, you can only get so far. And in the end, it might not even
No,
matter.
you're 100% right. And that's why for me, like my main goal right now is what it's always been. Just make the most of it. I could fall off on YouTube and Twitch tomorrow. I could end up being not even a top 100 player in the world next year. And I could end up, going back to college, whatever next year. Like I just got to make the most of the opportunity God blessed me with and see where it goes. But yeah, eventually I hate to say it, I don't want to be like I don't want to be famous. Like it sounds crazy. Like I like having a platform in which I can spread the positivity and those types of things. But like I just want to just be like everybody, and that's
Yeah.
how I view myself. Like I don't view myself as
No,
anything.
stop trying to be the best then. That's the problem. When you try to be the best, the haters come, man. And that's what it is. Because and that's what, like, with so many people that I've got to interview throughout this time, that you see haters on both sides. And I've got to interview, both sides of the hate world in this game that we play. And but nobody takes the time to realize that there are people behind all these profile pictures, behind all these
No,
videos.
for sure. And like even
Mm.
for me, like I've gotten into so much just dumb. It's ultimately just like dumb arguments or not important conversations, or I just dumb stuff
It's
that
competitive. It's a competitive
it
thing.
is
That's what it is.
competitive,
You want to be able to back up what you
but
say.
it
That's it.
is. But
And that's your
in the
tribe.
true grand scheme of things, like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter,
No.
and we all need to realize like. we grow as one. So I don't know, but yeah, that's another thing like I've learned, and I still will do it, but yeah, you just gotta not get into those mind frames or whatever. So
One thing that really does matter, though, my my appreciation for you giving me and everybody that listens an hour of your time tonight. Uh, that I could go on and on and on and pick your brain about all the different twists and turns. This was the Cliff Notes version of you, that's for sure.
no, I appreciate you guys or you taking the time. Everybody that listened, no, it was fun and it flew by. Which
I got a favorite ask of
Mhm.
you, though. I do have one favorite ask of you. What everybody else has done, they let me off the hook. They give me the Hoff bailout, and they close the space for me. What I tend to do is I just turn off my mic, and then you get to shout yourself out or whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, and then you just mute your mic when you decide that this show is over.
Okay, and then
Can you do that for me?
you click leave or you click end.
Yep. As soon as you click mute your mic next time, I'll wait a couple seconds for a dramatic pause, and then I'll click end the space, and the whole thing will shut
All
down.
right, yeah, I can end it.
All right. Thanks again,
Absolutely,
Ty. You're the man.
absolutely. Much love.
Chicken man.
Yes, sir. Always. All right, man. Hey, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all spending the evening with me. Friday evening, y'all could be doing anything with y'all lives, but I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out T Smalls, man, for being the GOAT. Keeping doing these things for the community, man. But thank y'all. I love you. God loves you, man. And I'm out. I love y'all, man.